A high-profile investigation into a controversial mortgage program is now expanding. The new chairman of the House Oversight Committee, Republican Congressman Issa, issuing his very first subpoena, targeting Countrywide Mortgage, the now defunct firm, and its controversial VIP loan program that might have given sweetheart deals to some lawmakers in Washington. The program came under scrutiny after reports surfaced that then-Senator Christopher Dodd and Senator Kent Conrad got sweetheart mortgages from the company. But while Congressman Issa targets those sweetheart loans, a liberal group called the Third Lantern is going after Issa, launching paid media advertisements. Also a website called the Issa Files, all aimed at undermining and investigating the California congressman. Congressman Issa, the chairman of the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, joins us now. Congressman, thanks for being with us.
Well, John, thank you, and thanks for pointing out that there now is a website that covers me all the time, and I don't even have to pay for it.
All right. You have a number of investigations going on in your committee, as I understand it, but you chose this Countrywide case as the issuer of your first subpoena. Why?
Well, probably because the dollars at stake are so high. The American people have suffered in the trillions as a result of the financial meltdown. Virtually every American that owns a home owns it for less than they paid for it, or at least less than it was worth. And you ask why? Well, the sweetheart deals that went on, the absence of oversight, the absence of laws that would have stemmed the tide of these subprime loans really were affected by the Angelo Mazzillo, Friends of Angelo, or VIP program at Countrywide. It didn't just go to lawmakers. It went to members of the staffs in both the House and the Senate. It went to people at Freddie and Fannie, the agencies that took this bad debt on, that you and I have now paid over $150 billion for the bad debt, and it's still counting. All of these things, if you will, represent the core of the problem. Now, people can say Freddie and Fannie, they can say failure of regulators, they can say a lot of things. What we see is a corrupting influence that went on that began by, if you will, these sweetheart deals that were worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in some cases to each of the people who received these discounted loans. So we want to find out not who received the loans as much as we want to find out the scope of what we think was somewhat of a criminal enterprise.
Well, we mentioned former Senator Christopher Dodd of Connecticut and sitting Senator Kent Conrad of North Dakota. They received those loans. The Senate investigated them and said they didn't do anything wrong. Do you expect to find differently?
No, I don't. I expect that the Senate Ethics Committee has spoken, and it's the final word on what's ethical for senators. The House Committee might very well do the same. I don't represent the Ethics Committees. It's not about the members. And there were Republican staffers who were key to legislation in the Senate who received similar loans. What I'm looking for is, if you try to influence government and you give discounts behind essentially closed doors, none of these were ever declared, are you a criminal? And if you're not, should you be? And I think that's where the American people have a right, and I have an obligation to investigate and to change this, because I know that the American people, because they constantly are contacting us, they want us to make sure this doesn't happen again. Following the evidence where it leads should cause us to either have Department of Justice take criminal action if it's appropriate, and if it's not, then we should act to make sure that this can never happen again with impunity to the people who give the bribes, or for that matter, those who, if they knowingly accept it. And that's just doing the job the American people obligate us to do.